Okay, so because I received so many hot takes from this week, as well as some additional hot takes that came in from the comments from the video earlier this morning, and because I had some time between work, I thought why not do another hot takes video since it's still Thursday, and these are some of my favorite videos to do, and there were some good hot takes that still came in after the fact. So let's go through a few more of these before the day is up. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. This one was a good hot take right here. This is from Big Reese. He says, the Bulls already have a third star. His name is Patrick Williams, and when he gets a full training summer and camp under him, and Billy unleashes him on offense next season, it's a wrap. We will compete for the chip in 2 years. Book it. Beep beep, drive home safely. PS Bull Central, it's going to be fun with this team the next couple of weeks. See red, baby, let's go. I love it. I love the energy and passion, my man. As for your take, I mean, the only thing I take issue with is that it's implying we already have a third star on this team in the form of Patrick Williams. Now, I won't deny that Patrick could be a star, even in the near future, but as it stands right now, he is currently not a star. He just isn't. He's a great player with a ton of potential, but he isn't a star right now. And until he actually becomes a star, the Bulls don't have a third star in their lineup. They just have the two. Now, I do agree, at least I hope anyway, that we're going to see a huge leap from Patrick from this season to the next. And it's for the exact reason you mentioned, in that Patrick Williams, and really all of the rookies for that matter in this season, did not get a proper training camp coming into the league, and they didn't have the same type of draft combine, and they didn't have a full summer league like most rookies would. So yes, I agree that Patrick having a full summer offseason that enables him to train without the demand of practices and games, and of course based on what we know of him today and how he's been playing recently, showing that he's a very capable professional basketball player, you know, even without having a full training camp and summer league. Yeah, you bet he could and should have an incredible leap going into next season. Now, I don't think the normal summer league that we've had in the past, after a full season and in terms of a full training camp as well, will still be the case, because the season is still extending a bit further into where it normally would. I believe the NBA Finals is slated to start in July when it's normally in June, but regardless, Patrick will greatly benefit from an extended offseason that allows him to focus on training and participating in summer league, which I believe the plan is still to have a summer league this offseason at this point. Next, we have Trey Williams. Bulls fans, for the same trade, would you take Vooch or Cat? I guess this is more of a question than a hot take, but no, I would still take Vucevic. I know Cat is younger and he's a star player, don't get me wrong, he's a phenomenal athlete, but Vucevic is on a little bit of a friendlier contract, not on a max deal that Cat is on. That gives the Bulls a little bit more cap space for this offseason than we otherwise would have under Cat. And I think overall, you know, Vooch is much better able to spread the floor with his outside shooting, which I know that, you know, Cat, he can shoot from outside as well, but Vucevic is better at that. And I also like the fact that Vooch has more playoff experience and just more experience in the NBA in general. Cat is also having somewhat of a down season. I know some of that has to do with the fact that his mother passed away from COVID. He got COVID himself, and he stated that it has impacted his mental health. But either way, no, I would still rather have Vucevic if given the opportunity to trade the same assets that we did for him. Next up, Bulls fan 69. Tried not to snicker there. Bulls will win the chip in 2025. It's pretty bold, man. So we're talking about 4 years from now. Zach Lavine, you know, granted, hopefully he's still on the team. He'll be 30 by then, but likely still in his prime as long as he doesn't have any setbacks. Vucevic, granted, if he's still on the team, would be 34. Yikes. But I do think, because big men generally, you know, when they're in the league anyway, their overall longevity is much longer than normal guards that rely a lot on their athleticism. And the fact that he's a big man that doesn't need to rely on his athleticism, he likely will still be a very serviceable player even by that time for that age. Coby White, again, if he's still with the team, would be 24, Markkanen would be 27, and then Patrick Williams would be 23, which is just crazy to me how young this kid is. And even, you know, 4 years from now, he might not even be quite in his prime yet. Aside from, you know, where the Bulls' current players are at, or will they'll be 4 years from now, obviously there's so much that can change in the course of 4 years. There could be trades, free agency acquisitions, unexpected injuries, knock on wood. But I think based on the aggressiveness of the front office, the talent of the current Bulls roster and what they have, the cap flexibility, the potential of some of these younger players. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could win the championship by 2025. I don't know if they're actually going to win a championship in the next 4 years, but I think they will definitely be on a path to contending by 2025 for sure. Again, I like the optimism, and it's not out of the question. And I really say that just based on the moves the front office has made, at the deadline, because it signaled to me that they're looking to compete now and be aggressive in the moves to make that happen. Now, the other common hot take that I received really in just the past few hours was in regards to the Bulls getting Chris Paul. As you see here, if we get CP3, it's a wrap. Bulls are contenders if they add CP3, and we get Chris Paul next season. So if you caught my video on ranking the top 5 free agent targets I thought the Bulls should consider based on practicality, fit, talent, and of course their compensation, I had Chris Paul at number 5 on this list. And the reason for that was because for a team like the Bulls to get someone like Chris Paul, it's going to be a huge feat. And it's for a number of factors. One, Chris Paul has a player option for an insane amount of money of $44.2 million that he would be declining if he opts out. And for someone at his age, that would be pretty crazy to pass up. On top of that, it's not like CP3 is playing for a bad team where he would rather go elsewhere and sacrifice the money to play on a winning team. So for CP3 to decline that kind of money to play for a worse team, I know it doesn't feel great to say that, but the Suns, as of right now, are a better team than the Bulls. And then finally, even if CP3 declines his player option, let's say he gets unhappy in Phoenix or wants a change in scene since, this was a team that he didn't choose, he was traded there. In the unlikely event that he did decline his player option, he's going to want enough of an incentive to turn down that kind of money. So either a longer term deal that is guaranteed or again to go to a team that is a contender. So the challenge with that is, well, one, the Bulls aren't contenders right now, and two, by offering him a longer term deal, say, a guaranteed 3-year contract, as good as Chris Paul is, do you want to extend him a big long-term contract at his age? And the Bulls would likely be hamstrung in terms of their cap space when you have Vucevic's contract, and then also planning ahead for offering Zach LaVine's a big payday when his contract expires next season. So as much as I would love to have Chris Paul on this team because he really fulfills everything the Bulls need: an elite point guard, an elite passer and playmaker, a great defender, a mentor to the younger players with all of his playoff experience. He really would fit perfectly, and I do agree he would make this Bulls team a contender as he fills that need at point guard. It gives the Bulls more depth. Oh yeah, and he also, is the third all-star that we would be looking for on this roster. So yes, it would be incredible to have Chris Paul, but very unlikely given the circumstances surrounding his current contract. I'll do one more. This is again from the Discord. This one is from Kairov. Hot take: Trey Brown Jr. provides better upside and is better right now than Coby White. Hopefully I get in this vid, haven't been in one ever. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I had your hot take in my earlier video, and since you haven't been in one before, I thought I'll include you in the back-to-back videos, and because this take is actually interesting. So I don't agree that Trey Brown Jr. is better than Coby White right now. Let me just start with that. That's not to say that he can't become better. They're both young players and still have a lot of time to develop and a lot of potential, but Coby is the better player between the two right now. I do really like Trey Brown, and I especially love how scrappy he is on defense. He's also very athletic and can drive nicely to the basket. I think both are promising players, and they actually complement each other's skill sets very well, given Brown is a much better defender and Coby is better on offense. All of that being said, though, if I had to say which player I think fits better with the Bulls roster and likely a better long-term fit, it's probably going to be Trey Brown, just because the Bulls are going to need his defense and being that spark off the bench, whereas Coby has kind of played himself out of the long-term future for the Bulls, and it pains me to say. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the double hot takes upload today. If you happen to miss the hot takes video from earlier this morning, I'll leave it linked for you guys in the description. It'll also be in the end screen that you'll see here in this video in a few seconds. Don't forget, the Bulls will be taking on the Raptors tomorrow. I'll have a live chat for that game as always. Be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.